Hi everyone, my name is Michelle Pinheiro and I work with AHC. Today I'll be reading You Don't Know Everything, Jilly P by Alex Gino, the award-winning author of George. You Don't Know Everything, Jilly P. To Blake with love. I wouldn't have written this book without you. I can hardly wait to read yours. Contents, title page, dedication, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 9 months later, 3 months after that, 3 years after that, Jillian's first 100 signs, Macy and J.D.'s glossary of initialisms, author's note, George sneak peek, acknowledgements, copyright. Chapter 1. The house smells of homemade tomato sauce when I get home from school, a sure sign that Dad is cooking dinner. Mom lies on the couch, her laptop propped on her knees. A line of belly-white skin stretches between the bottom of her shirt and the waistline of her pants. My baby sister is inside, just waiting to join us out here. Mom has shoulder-length copper hair, a small nose, and light brown eyes. I look a lot like her, but my hair is longer and I'm not pregnant. Dad is sitting in front of the television. His short, wavy hair is black, except for a small off-center tuft at the front that's been white since he was 18. His Italian skin is a few shades darker than Mom's and mine. A photograph of a black teen in a blue tank top fills the television screen. She is smiling, and Mickey Mouse earrings dangle from her ears. The news anchor introduces us to Ella Davila, age 15, fatally shot in an incident with police in Santa Rosa, California. Details at 11. Again, Dad says. This world gets scarier and scarier. No kidding, says Mom. Dad shuts off the TV and turns to me, wiping the concern from his face as quickly as the image on the screen disappears. As if it didn't happen if we don't mention it. So, Jilly, how was school? Nothing special. That's true. It was an utterly boring day. Tests in math, science, and social studies. Ugh, Dad says. Sounds like a bummer. Pretty much, I say, and head to my room. I flip open my laptop and log on to Delacorte. The books in B.A. Delacorte's magically mysterious Vidalia trilogy are my favorite books in the world. And Delacorte is the official website for news and information about the series, as well as for connecting with other fans. I open Young Vidalians, a chat room specifically for kids ages 11 to 13. I'm 12, right in the middle. Officially, that's who the books are for anyway, but a lot of the chat rooms are for people 14 and older. It's not fair, but there are lots of adults who read the books too. And how could you blame them? I plan to keep returning to Vidalia as long as I'm able to read. Kids younger than 11 aren't allowed on the site, but I've seen a few, at least based on the way they type. I got an account on my 11th birthday, and I've been to Delacorte almost every day since. Jillian P. has entered the chat. Hi, Jillian P. Bad is great, profound in Oaktown, pure green elven girl, and sword wielder 42 are already here. Pull up a chair, or a tree branch if you're a wood elf, and join in. Jillian P. Hey, everyone. Bad is great. Hi, Jay. Pure green elven girl. Hey, Jilly. Profound was just trying to tell us that the real hero of Vidalia is Cecil. Jillian P. But he's orange. Everyone in Vidalia has an aura based on how good they are. Generally, good people glow green. People who are more questionable glow yellow. People who are downright evil glow red. Lots of people's auras are somewhere in between, and your aura's color can change based on your actions. Like when the great red rat of Demonica saved a whole bunch of elves, turned yellow, and was chased out of the ancient rat pack. Profound in Oaktown. I'm not saying Cecil's all good. I'm saying he's effective. The books are about what Cecil wants and gets. That's the definition of a protagonist. I should know. Last week we studied them in my literature class. Pure green elven girl. Well, you sure didn't pay attention when they taught spelling. It's protagonist. Profound in Oaktown. Whatever. You know I'm deaf. English is my second language. Come back to me when you can sign protagonist. Sword wielder 42. Wow, I didn't know you were deaf. That's cool. Pure green elven girl. Then you must never have been in a conversation with Profound before. He mentions it every chance he gets. Also, he lives in Oakland, California, and he's black. Sword wielder 42. So, I'm black too. Pure green elven girl. Nothing. It's fine. He just brings it up a lot. Profound in Oaktown. It better be fine. And yeah, I bring it up a lot. Being deaf, black, and Oaktowner is who I am, and I'm hecka proud of all three. Sword wielder 42. Yeah, man, black pride, but I never heard of anyone being proud of being hard of hearing before. Profound in Oaktown. Deaf, dude, deaf. Hashtag deaf pride, hashtag deaf power. Pure green elven girl. This isn't Twitter. You can't hashtag stuff. Profound in Oaktown. I have powers you don't know. That is great. So who's your favorite character, Sword Wielder? Sword Wielder 42. Who, me? Gotta either be Verdito or Gwenella. Jillian P. Yes. Sword Wielder 42. What? That is great. She's just happy because Gwenella's her fave too. Jillian P. Gwenella is so going to be the first half troll ever to glow full green. Profound in Oaktown. Never happened. Profound is like that sometimes, a bit of a downer. Most of the time he's pretty cool though. That is great. So Jay, any word on the baby sister? Jillian P. Not yet, but if she doesn't come soon, my mom might topple right over onto her stomach. Pure green elven girl. Babies are so cute. Profound in Oaktown. Have you ever lived with a baby? Pure green elven girl. I'm an only child. Profound in Oaktown. Let me tell you, they might seem cute until you get one. Then you realize they just look like that so that you won't toss them off a cliff. Trust me, I have 2 little sisters. Sword Wielder 42. So twice as bad? Profound in Oaktown. More like 8 times. And you have it worse than me. Jillian P. What do you mean? Profound in Oaktown. Babies cry all the time, even at night. I take out my hearing aids when I sleep, but you can't take off your ears. Jillian P. Well, I'm excited to have a little sister. Anything's better than a pregnant mom. That's when Dad knocks on the door and tells me to log off and get my homework done. Sometimes I wish I could live in Vidalia, and not just because they don't have language arts homework. It must be nice to know who to trust. Like if someone tells you in advance that your mom being pregnant is no big deal, you would just need a glimpse of their aura turning yellow to know that they were flat out lying. Just like Mom is still flat out on the couch. She skips dinner entirely. She ate a late lunch and her stomach isn't feeling great, so it's just Dad, me, and a tray of ziti at the dinner table, looking at each other, wondering when my baby sister will decide it's time to vacate Mom's body. Chapter 2. Macy and I are in her living room, making cards for my baby sister to be. Mom and Dad are at the hospital now, and I'm about ready to explode, waiting for an update. Macy has black hair and a pixie cut, green eyes, sand-colored white skin, and has been my best friend since first grade. I've written happy 0th birthday in rainbow letters on the front of my card. I was going to write happy first birthday, but Macy pointed out that her first birthday won't be until next year. I could have just written happy birthday, but I wanted to be specific. Do we know her name yet? Macy asked. Nope, they've tried just about everyone in the book though. Mom and Dad have been tearing apart a book called Finding the Perfect Name for Your Baby for months, testing out which names sound best with the last name Perillo, which have the best nicknames, which are unique but not too unique, creative but not too creative, simple but not too simple. Naming me was a lot easier because I'm named after my grandpa Julian. Mom hates the name Julia, and so I became Jillian Perillo. Well, they've got to make a decision at some point, says Macy. I think they already have. What makes you say that? The text I got from my dad that says picked a name. Have you been holding out on me? Macy raises an eyebrow. I see how it is. You Perillos are all alike. Yeah, but the rest of the text says, I'll tell it to you in person. Macy's face folds into a pucker. That's cold, JD. Ice cold. No kidding. JD stands for Jillian's dad. I'll bet you can guess what JM stands for. I tried calling Macy's mom MM once, but she just looked at me and said, Trisha will be perfectly sufficient, thank you very much. She smiled as she said it, but her point was clear. Trisha it is. I still think of her as Macy's mom, though. Whatever, says Macy. I'll just write, welcome, baby Perillo. Pass me the turquoise. Turquoise is her favorite color. No one, not even me, is allowed to use her turquoise glitter pen without permission. 18 letters and 2 punctuation marks, that's a lot of precious, precious turquoise ink. I pull out the purple glitter pen and stare at the card I'm working on, trying to find spots that need more sparkle when my phone buzzes. This is it, a text from Dad. Baby sister, signed, sealed, and delivered. On my way. She's born. Dad's coming to get me now. Macy and I get up and do the dance we've named the baby sister slide. First, you put your left hand on your left hip to a count of 3, and the same on your right. Then you shake your hips 3 times, extend your foot out to the side, and swoop your body over to meet it. That's the slide part, and clap. That's it. So easy a baby sister could do it. You can dance it together in a line, mirror a partner face to face, or if you're like me, go solo in the middle of your bedroom dance floor. When the doorbell rings, Macy and I run for the door. The smile on Dad's face is so big it makes my cheeks hurt. He throws his arms wide open and announces, she's beautiful, just beautiful. Get over here, Jilly Billy. He picks me up and spins me around the room. Hi, Trisha, he says once I'm back on the ground. Good to see you. You too, Dominic. Congratulations. So, I ask, what's her name? Yeah, JD, spill it, says Macy. Emma. The name sounds like a sunbeam radiating off his tongue. Emma, I repeat. It's lovely. Well done, JD. Worth the wait. Thanks, JF. JBFF, Macy corrects Dad. Oisindia. Oops, I'm sorry, I'll never do it again. That's one of their standards. I'm glad my dad and my best friend get along so well, but right now there's a brand new baby to see, and now is not the time. So I grab Dad's hand and pull him toward the door. In the car, Dad can't stop talking about what a great job Mom did and how Emma is such a perfect little baby, and he just knows I'm going to fall in love with her the moment I see her. He drives into a parking garage as tall as the hospital across the street. We wind around and up this concrete structure until Dad finds a spot in level 3, section B. B for baby, I announce. B for baby, Dad confirms. We take an elevator downstairs to cross the road and enter the hospital itself. On the maternity ward, Dad lets me open the door to Mom's room. She's wearing a thin blue hospital gown. I can tell she was asleep because her head jerks up and she blinks a few times before smiling. Her face is pale and her hair is stringy, but the smile in her eyes is bright. Hey, you two, Emma's sleeping. She nods over at the corner of the room where Emma is nestled inside a plastic and steel crib. I go over to peer in, but all I can see is a massive fabric with a smoosh of pink peeking out between her hat and her blanket. Come on over here, Jilly, so your mom can give you a big hug and kiss. Mom groans when she shifts in bed, but she wraps her arms around me and it feels cozy. I don't want her to let go. I missed her last night and this morning, and even though people have babies all the time, I was a tiny bit worried about her. Maybe even a little more than a tiny bit. Oh, these are so sweet, she exclaims when I give her the cards Macy and I made, and Macy used turquoise. We must really rate. Once Mom is done oohing and ahhing, Dad props the cards up on the bedside table. Then he takes a seat right behind Mom, his arm around her waist and their legs pressed against each other. I sit at the foot of the bed. It feels good and family-like, even though we're in a hospital. Mom asks me about my day, but I stop talking the moment a small noise comes from the far side of the room. It's something between a gurgle and a yawn, the voice of someone who doesn't know what to say because she has never said anything before. Dad retrieves the bundle of blanket-wrapped newness and places her in Mom's arms. Ready to meet your sister, Mom asks. I nod like wild and scooch toward the head of the bed. Even scrunched up, with bright pink and red blotches on her face, Emma is adorable. I can't believe she's coming home to live with us. Hi, Emma. I'm your big sister, and I love you already. Would you like to hold her, Mom asks. Yes. Dad hands me a pillow and lays Emma on it. We sit on the bed together, tiny Emma in my lap, and Mom in Dad's arms, all of us transfixed by Emma's every movement until she falls back asleep. It isn't long before Mom's head starts dropping too. Almost ready to go, Dad asks. He'll be driving me to Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne's for the night. Aunt Joanne is Mom's sister, and Aunt Alicia is her wife. Dad will be coming back to the hospital to keep Mom and Emma company. I could stay too, I tell him. I don't take up much space, and I'd even go down to the cafeteria to get you coffee in the morning. I love spending time with Aunt Alicia, Aunt Joanne, and their kids Justin and Jamila, but I see them all the time. This is only the first time I'm meeting Emma. That's very sweet of you, honey, but only people over the age of 18 are allowed to stay on the maternity ward overnight. What about the babies? They're not 18 years old. They're about as far as you can get. Welcome to life, Jilly, is all the Dad has to offer, along with a tousle of my hair. I swat his hand away. Dad picks Emma up from the pillow on my lap and settles her into the bassinet. Mom blinks a few times and, with a grunt, sits up higher in bed. Dad checks his pocket for his keys and phone. All right, he announces, the 6 o'clock special for Points West is preparing to head out. All customers, please follow your driver to your transport. I give Mom a careful hug. And would the lovely lady at the station please consult with the driver before departure? Dad leans over Mom and their lips lock. I'm glad that we're alone in the hospital room. People who don't know my parents awe when they see how they kiss, and then they give me a big smile like I should be proud of them or something. To be honest, it's a bit much. On the way out the door, I look back at Mom, her head already falling back on her pillow. Emma's bassinet is too tall for me to see over, but I know she's curled up inside. I can't wait until they're released from the hospital and we can all celebrate at home together. Chapter 3. Dad doesn't even bother to get out of the car at Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne's. He just waits until Aunt Alicia lets me in before heading back to the hospital. Inside, the dinner Aunt Alicia is cooking smells savory and delicious, like I could snack on the air itself. Aunt Alicia is black, with dozens of straight, long locks running down her back. She's wearing dragonfly earrings and a red headband covered in tiny ladybugs. She gives me a huge hug and sets me a pile of carrots to chop. The first floor of the house is big and open, with windows on all 4 sides, letting in light and a view of Oakland. One corner of the room, portioned off by a low bookshelf, is filled with blocks, dolls, cars, and other toys that belong to my cousins Justin and Jamila, who are 3 and 5 years old. Officially, they're Aunt Alicia's kids, from a marriage she calls the biggest mistake of my life that just happened to include the 2 best things that have ever happened to me. To which Aunt Joanne says, number 3 ain't bad. And how do you feel about chocolate cream pie to celebrate being a big sister? Aunt Alicia asks. I give her a giant cheesy grin until the sides of my face hurt. I take that as a yes. Yes, I nod ferociously, my jaw banging against my collarbone. Aunt Alicia's chocolate cream pie is like diving into a chocolate sea with a graham cracker beach and fluffy meringue waves. When I'm done cutting carrots, I sit at the table and keep Aunt Alicia company while she juggles pots and pans on the stove. She asks what it's like to have a baby sister, and I tell her all about my visit to the hospital and seeing Mom in the bed that folded in the middle so she could sit up. Yeah, sure, that's what it's like to have a mom giving birth. But what about Emma? Are you excited to be a big sister and show her how things are done in the Perillo home? Yep, I can't wait until she's old enough that I can teach her how to cut vegetables, and then I'll be the head chef and she'll be my sous chef. Dad calls me his sous chef sometimes. It's a fancy way to say assistant who cuts all the vegetables. Aunt Alicia laughs. Well, there are a couple steps between birth and wielding a chopping knife, but glad to hear you're ready to help teach her the ways of the kitchen. Jamila and Justin tumble into the house soon after, with Aunt Joanne a few steps behind them. Justin's hair is shaved close to his head while Jamila's fluffy curls surround her face. They have matching toothy smiles. Aunt Joanne is white, with short reddish-brown hair and purple glasses. She flops into a kitchen chair while Justin and Jamila run around the table. How was the park? Aunt Alicia asks. Great, says Jamila. I jumped off the swing while it was still swinging and I didn't fall down. We seed 3 sparrows, Justin says, poking 3 fingers into the air. 3 is his favorite number because he's 3 years old. Perfect timing, hun. Aunt Joanne puts her arm around Aunt Alicia's waist and their lips touch briefly. Aunt Joanne is so tall and Aunt Alicia so short that Aunt Alicia standing up isn't much taller than Aunt Joanne sitting down. Aunt Alicia turns to Justin and Jamila. Dinner's ready, so go wash up. Soon we're all enjoying the meal. Jamila scrunches her face at the salmon. Aunt Joanne makes her try it, but she spits it back out and focuses on the carrots. Justin eats everything on his plate and is finished before any of the rest of us. He loves food. And when Aunt Alicia mentions chocolate cream pie, he literally falls out of his chair with excitement. How you find the time to bake between your job, the kids, and me, I'll never know, says Aunt Joanne, her face radiating pleasure and pride. And I'll never tell. Aunt Alicia gives a dimpled grin. Aunt Joanne turns to me. On the days I'm supposed to cook, we usually get shandong. Unless it's Monday, Aunt Alicia says. They're closed on Mondays. Then we get whatever's on special at Safeway. I have many skills, Aunt Joanne says proudly. Cooking is not one of them. Thank you, Alicia, for gracing us with your talent. Oh, this? It was nothing. Aunt Alicia waves her hand in the air, but her eyes let us know that her modesty doesn't run very deep. I wish I could have had a baby sister every day if it means food like this, I say. It's a good thing your dad's such a great cook, says Aunt Alicia. It's true, Mom makes a good meal, but Dad's the true chef in the family. Your mom's probably going to be exhausted with the baby. She's already been exhausted for the last 2 months. I can only imagine, says Aunt Joanne, turning to Aunt Alicia. I don't know how you did it. So how long after Justin was born did things get back to normal, I ask. Aunt Joanne looks at Aunt Alicia. Aunt Alicia looks at Aunt Joanne. They both look at me, and then they start to laugh. At first, it's a single chuckle from Aunt Joanne, mirrored by Aunt Alicia. Then Aunt Alicia lets out another burst, followed by Aunt Joanne, until they're both howling. Justin and Jamila laugh along too, throwing their heads back and slapping at the table with their hands, even though I'm pretty sure neither of them have a clue what they're laughing about. Yeah, so I'm going to go with never, Aunt Joanne wipes at her eyes. I wouldn't put it nearly that soon, says Aunt Alicia. Okay, I get it, I say. It'll never be the same again. Couldn't have said it better myself, Jilly Bean. Aunt Alicia picks up her fork and digs into her salmon. When we're done with dinner and dessert, I want to go back to the hospital to see my Emma, with her teeny tiny fingers and her squishy little face. I miss Mom and Dad too, and I text Dad to ask him to pick me up for a morning visit, but he says that he will pick me up at school for an afternoon visit, and that they will be home for good on Tuesday, so I can see them all I want then. I wonder whether Emma will already look different, maybe a little less wrinkly. I pull Hearts and Arrows out of my bag and flop onto the couch. Hearts and Arrows is the second magically mysterious Vidalia novel. I already read it when it came out 2 months ago, but the third book, Roses and Thorns, isn't going to be released until next year, and I can't wait that long for more. The cover has smooth silver words with bumpy mountains in the background. I love to trace the letters with my finger, Hearts. Hearts and Arrows is seriously the greatest book I have ever read. It's even better than Swords and Secrets, the first book in the series, which was my favorite book of all time until I read Hearts and Arrows. By the end of Roses and Thorns, Gwenella the half-troll is going to glow solid green. I just know it. Didn't you just finish that book? Aunt Alicia asked, sitting next to me with her own thick volume. Yeah. You do know other books exist, right? Yeah, but this one's so good. I mean, Gwenella is the best. I end up reading the same paragraph over and over. I sped through these pages last time, but now that I know what's going to happen, this part is a little slow. I mean, it's still Vidalia, so it's still good, but it's not as great as other parts of the book. And right now, I've got baby on the mind, too much to concentrate. I need to talk to someone. Aunt Alicia is deep in her book. Aunt Joanne is running a bath for Justin and getting Jamila ready for bed. Mom and Dad are at the hospital, so I log on to Delacorte and open Young Medallions. Jillian P. has entered the chat. Hi, Jillian P. Profound in Oaktown is already here. Pull up a chair or spin yourself a web if you're a great spider and join in. Jillian P. Where the heck is everybody? Profound in Oaktown. A couple people just logged off. Profound in Oaktown. The East Coast people are probably asleep already. Jillian P. Oh, right. I'm not usually on this late. Profound in Oaktown. Where were you today? You're always here on Sundays. Jillian P. I was at the hospital. Profound in Oaktown. Oh, that sucks. Jillian P. No, it's good. My baby sister was born. Profound in Oaktown. In that case, congratulations. Jillian P. Her name's Emma, and she's tiny and adorable, and I got to hold her. Profound in Oaktown. Cool. Jillian P. But now I'm at my aunt's and I'm bored. Profound in Oaktown. I'm bored too. That's why I was here even though no one else was. Jillian P. I mean, I love my aunts and all, but I want to be back with my parents and Emma. Jillian P. I hate to complain. Profound in Oaktown. No, go ahead. You should. Today is officially complaint day. What you got? Jillian P. No, it's your turn. Profound in Oaktown. Okay, how about this? My mom had it out with me because I didn't make my bed before I left for school last Monday. Jillian P. Ugh, making the bed is the worst. I mean, I'm just going to have to unmake it to get back in it later. Profound in Oaktown, right? I already gave the big bedroom to my sisters because I stay at school during the week. I should be able to keep my room the way I want it, but she's all upset because my bed is going to sit unmade for a couple of days. Jillian P. The horror. Profound in Oaktown. No kidding. Jillian P. Do your parents complain about shoes on the furniture? Profound in Oaktown. We're not even allowed to wear them in the house. Jillian P. What about when you're in the middle of something important and they make you stop so you can help them move a table or something? Profound in Oaktown. But if you ask them to help you, it's all about how you're interrupting and you can just wait. Jillian P. It's the worst. Profound in Oaktown. No, the worst is when your parents announce that the whole family's going out and they don't give you any warning at all and you just have to stop what you're doing because they're the parents and they say so. Jillian P. The words "because I said so" should be outlawed. Jillian P. So are we just complaining about parents here? Profound in Oaktown. Heck no. Jillian P. Because I want to give a shout in to people who say that Vidalia sounds interesting, but books take too long to read, so we'll just wait for the movies. Profound in Oaktown. I hate those people. Profound in Oaktown. And what's a shout in? Jillian P. The opposite of a shout out. Profound in Oaktown. Of course. And I'm going to give a shout in to people who read the books but still suck anyway. Cough, Elvin girl, cough. Jillian P. The best thing about turning 14 is that we can go to other chat rooms and Elvin girl won't be there for at least a year. Profound in Oaktown. She's 11? Jillian P. Yeah, she was telling us one day how proud she is of her username because it looks like the word 11. Someone asked what she's going to do when she turns 12 and she had no answer. Profound in Oaktown. I hate her. Jillian P. Me too. Profound in Oaktown. You know what else I hate? Pickles. It's bad enough when they put them on the side of your plate at a diner and you lose a couple of potato chips. But when they put it on a burger, it ruins the whole meal. If I wanted sour veggies, I would have asked for them. Go ahead and leave off the rotten lettuce while you're at it. Jillian P. Well, there you have it. Everything sucks but lollipops. Profound in Oaktown. True story. You know what else sucks? Jillian P. What's that? Profound in Oaktown. I gotta go. Jillian P. That does suck. It was fun chatting with you without, a lot of people here. Profound in Oaktown. Yeah, it was. Good night, Jane. Jillian P. Good night. Profound in Oaktown has left the chat. I'm hungry again before bed, so I head to the kitchen and make myself a JP, PB, and J. PB and J stands for peanut butter and jelly, and JP stands for me, Jillian Perillo. Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne don't have any berry jelly, only apricot jam, but it'll have to do. I use my patented technique. Someday I'll pass it on to Emma. I imagine telling her, first, you take out a slice of bread. Whole wheat's okay, but no seeds or nuts or anything. Then you spread creamy peanut butter on half. I picture her looking up at me with eager eyes. The left half or the right half? The left, I say. Okay. Then she asks, which one's my left? I point and she attacks the bread with a peanut butter-laden knife. The bread is a little ragged by the time she's done, and she missed a corner, but I don't say anything. This is only her first JP, PB, and J. I must have made 1,000. I talk her through the next steps. Put 1 tablespoon of jelly, I recommend mixed berry, in the middle of the other half, like this. I drop a dollop, spread it out, and hand the spoon to Emma for her to do the same. Then you lay another slice of bread on top. Make sure it's not the end slice. End slices are for desperate times. I cut my sandwich right down the peanut butter jelly border. Some of the peanut butter mixes with some of the jelly in the middle, but that's part of the charm, which is what you're supposed to say when homemade food isn't perfect. I imagine Emma picking up her knife and doing a pretty good job cutting her sandwich, except she pushes a little too hard at the end and jelly squirts out the side. And there you have it, a perfect JP, PB, and J, I proclaim. Well, mine is anyway, and hers isn't too bad for a first try. Now for the taste test. We pick up the peanut butter sides of our sandwiches and toast. To peanut butter. We each take a large bite. The proper way to eat a JP, PB, and J is to alternate bites from either side. So we pick up the other sides of our sandwiches and toast once more. To Jelly, I'm going to make the best big sister ever. Chapter 4. Macy and I live 2 blocks apart at the top of Oakland Avenue in Piedmont, California. I think it's funny that Oakland Avenue is in the city of Piedmont when the city of Piedmont itself is inside the city of Oakland. I think they should rename the state of California to Piedmont so that people could live on Oakland, in Piedmont, in Oakland, in Piedmont. Dad says not to hold my breath for that one. Back in elementary school, Macy and I used to take the bus home. The engine would diesel its way up the hill and drop us each off on the corner of our blocks. Now that we go to Piedmont Middle School, we have to make the trek ourselves. I estimate that it's roughly a 100-degree incline, but Macy says I'm not very good with angles. By the time I reach my house, I can see bits of Oakland peeking between the trees if I turn around, and even San Francisco if it's not too foggy. I pass the house with grapevines and 2 yellow VW bugs in the driveway, the yard with a dozen bird feeders and another dozen stone turtles, and the 3 houses in a row that got together to make a giant stepped succulent garden. Our yellow house greets me with its second-floor windows that look like giant sleepy eyes. The level walkway to our front door always feels weird after the climb, like I'm a mighty troll whose stride carries me across valleys. Tufts of yellow grass scatter the dirt between the rocks. It's been another year of drought, but even when there isn't a ban, we never water the grass. Dad says water is a precious commodity and should only be used for food-bearing plants. So the lemon tree gets plenty of water, but the rest of the lawn is yellow. Mom says that maybe next year we'll replace the lawn with native, drought-resistant species. Dad said she's been saying that since they bought the place. The door is locked, which is unexpected. Mom, Dad, and Emma were supposed to leave the hospital by noon. Even more unexpected, the lights are off inside and the house is empty. I check my phone and there's a voicemail from Dad. Not a text like he usually sends, but an actual voicemail. He only calls if there's really good news or really bad news, and I already know the really good news. I tap the message icon on my screen. Jilly, it's Dad. We're held up here a little later than we expected. Brief, awkward chuckle. Everything's fine. Just pause. Running a few tests to make sure Emma's shipshape before they ship us out. Deep breath. Order from Polly's for dinner. You know where the cash is. Get breadsticks. We'll be home soon. Love you. Shuffling and scuffling. Click. I order a pepperoni and mushroom pie, the official pizza of the Perillo household, breadsticks, and throw in an order of soda. Then I pull out my social studies textbook and read about Aztec cities and agriculture. The pizza arrives before Mom, Dad, and Emma get home, and the smell fills the house. I'm about to cave and eat a slice when I hear the car pull into the driveway. I'm all ready to jump into Dad's arms, but the door doesn't swing open like yesterday, and Dad doesn't leap inside. Instead, he holds the door for Mom and follows her in, toting Emma in her car seat. Mom's hair is pulled back into a ponytail, her eyes are red, and her face is as pink and splotchy as Emma's. She looks like breathing is taking a lot of her concentration. She heads right to the couch. Welcome home, Emma, Dad says, more quietly than I would have expected. He sets Emma's car seat down next to the couch. What happened, I ask. What's wrong? Dad opens his mouth a few times before speaking. She failed the hearing test, Dad takes a deep breath. Nothing's certain yet, but it looks like Emma has a problem with her ears. Might have, Mom corrects him. Might have a problem with her ears. Is she deaf, I ask? Like profound, I think? Dad shakes his head. It's too early to say. He drops onto the couch next to Mom and stares at the television. It isn't even on. The pizza's still in the kitchen, and I'm still hungry, but Mom and Dad don't look like they're budging, so I bring in the pie and some plates and put them on top of Mount Coffee Table. I call it that because of the papers, magazines, and cardboard packing piled high. Sometimes there are even avalanches. I return to the kitchen for soda and cups. When I get back to the living room, the pizza box is still closed, so I load 2 slices of pizza onto plates, put them in front of Mom and Dad, and hand Mom the remote. Thanks, Jilly, Mom says as she turns on an old 80s game show like we like to watch reruns of, while Dad pours soda for Mom and himself. I get myself a slice and a cup of soda and sit on the floor by Emma, who's sleeping. She looks like a scrunchy little ball. I lean in close and listen to her tiny, even breaths. She smells slightly sweet. I can't see anything wrong around her ears or anywhere else. She looks perfect to me. Perfect? Did I really say that tiny monster was perfect? I take it back. Profound was right about babies. They cry, they yell, they scream, they shriek, they squeal, and even if they may have a hearing problem, that doesn't make them any less loud. Every once in a while, they eat until they fall asleep. Then they poop in their diaper, which wakes them up, and they start all over again. And that's why I'm awake and ready for breakfast at 5:30 on Friday morning. Dad is pressing buttons on the microwave when I enter the kitchen. He needs to be at the auto shop early so that other people can drop off their cars and complaints before they go to work. Mom and Emma are in bed together, so it's just Dad and me. Without needing to ask, he pulls 2 extra links of sausage out of the freezer and adds them to the 3 ready to be zapped. I pull out 2 bowls, pour us each a serving of Raisin Bran, and place the milk on the table. How was your night, Jilly? Ugh, that little beast screamed all night long. Don't I know it? Dad's eyes look a little red and his cheeks a little gray. He sets a pair of plates next to the microwave. Just imagine, she's right in the room with us. Dad pauses as his parenting brain starts up for the day. And don't call your sister a beast. She's a precious treasure and a joy. Yeah, about 10% of the time. Just enough to keep us from throwing her out the window. Dad and I both laugh, but then he adds in a whisper, "Don't tell your mom I said that." The Perillo family has always prided itself on its sense of humor, but this week has been pretty joke-free. Mom looks so ready to crack that I've been afraid to crack a joke. Dad has been keeping it tame, too. He hasn't called Mom Pee-Pee once. Calling her by her initials has always been one of his go-tos when he wants to get on Mom's nerves. He certainly hasn't told her, "You're in my heart," and Mom hasn't pretended to faint when he's taken off his work boots at the end of the day. Even when she was super pregnant, she was at least tossing her head back like the stench had punched her in the nose. Dad kisses me on the top of my head when he's done eating, drops his dishes in the sink, and heads off to work. Emma wakes up after that. Mom makes herself toast and settles on the couch to feed Emma. They're both asleep again before I head to school. Aunt Alicia and Aunt Joanne said things will never be the same. But when do they at least get good again?